you can really learn anything. AI as being an enabler to focus on what matters the most.
This is Mindy Brooks, VP of Product Management at Google, where she leads Android consumer experience used by billions of people. Most people think the most important skill right now is learning how to code. But what makes her perspective interesting is that she did not come from computer science background. She studied psychology, and now she's the VP of Product leading Android and Gemini intelligence. And I had a question going into this interview. What actually gives you leverage in the age of AI?
It doesn't just spit out the answer, it actually breaks down the concept. I call it my digital laundry. The things and tasks in the background of my head that I need to do, but I really don't want to do, how do I automate that digital laundry? It's just a really transformative time.
So when you're looking at hiring and talent, what are some things that you look for?
One of the top things I look for is
Thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video.
Thank you, Mindy, for being here.
Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here.
You have a really interesting career story. So can you tell us a little bit about your career trajectory?
I am actually a researcher by training. I have my degree in applied developmental psychology. And I got into tech and media at Sesame Street and, really learning how to design experiences for all audiences. You're talking about kids, but you're also talking about their parents. And that really led into my career at Netflix and then here at Google, and now leading the Android consumer experience work.
Tell us a little bit more about what you do at Google. What does a VP of product do at Google?
It's really about driving the strategy, the product definition. I also lead the UX team. So what comes to life on the screen is the entire experience end to end is what I focus on. So you'll see a lot of that exciting work in Gemini Intelligence come to life, and including new design elements that we're bringing forward. So that's kind of my day-to-day is like, how do we bring this to life? How do you focus on what are the top user needs that you're looking to solve, and really bringing that to fruition?
Your career is very interesting. So you didn't follow a traditional tech ladder. What do you think are the advantages or disadvantages from having that background?
I came in with a background in psychology, so applied developmental psychology. So my approach was, how do I take a human lens to this and then be able to build products for the user on the other end? So understanding the ages and stages of life really matter, and really leaning into that research background to help make sure that we have great product market fit. And that's really been my focus area.
Mindy isn't just working on AI in the abstract. Google announced Gemini Intelligence, new features rolling out to Android phones this summer. And this is where AI starts taking work off your plate.
So Gemini Intelligence is a suite of features that is the best of Gemini on the most powerful Android devices. So we're really excited to bring that forward to help you be more productive, that's proactively working for you throughout the day on the automation, the task automation. I can order my groceries. I reorder a lot of usuals from different companies, and then being able to do that really quickly and get things done. I call it my digital laundry. The things and tasks in the background of my head that I need to do, but I really don't want to do, how do I automate that digital laundry?
So while you were working on Gemini, was there a moment where your team realized, oh my gosh, this is like a really powerful, we didn't even expect this from?
There's so many of those moments, but I'll give one example. Of the products that we're launching is Rambler. So this is voice to text, and it's using Gemini to help power this. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of ahs, and yelling at things on the side. Like if I'm driving, yelling at something, or everything comes into my text if I'm doing voice to text. And with the power of Gemini, it actually just cuts out all the fluff, all those unnecessary words, and be able to put it in a concise way, help your text be what you intended it to be without the extra noise. Being able to work between languages as well has been something that's been pretty transformative. That was one where we're like, wow, this is really powerful. And then I think another one that I'm really excited about is the Create My Widget, where you can just generate things that work for you. I am a pretty big sports fan. I love to track different games or injury lists or things like that. And you can just generate a widget on the fly. You can put your heart rate in there next to it too. Being able to track those things in a really fun, delightful way, but that are personal for me, so I can focus on what I want to, but also just get a quick glanceable widget that's made just for my interests or something I'm wanting to track.
Mindy spent years at Sesame Workshop studying one specific question. How do people learn? Not just kids, but how do learning actually work? So I asked her what she thinks about AI and learning, both the opportunity and the concern.
There's a lot of things that we've been working on here to help go deeper on problems. So one example is guided learning on Gemini. It doesn't just spit out the answer for you, it actually breaks down the concept. And that's been one that we've heard from teachers around the world that has been very useful in the classrooms. Instead of just answering the question, it will help break down the concept, connect it to other ones. So I can create a problem, a map of this entire learning tree essentially, and be able to help a user understand that and understand the problem solving behind it. I can take a screenshot of my syllabus and it automatically puts all of the books that I need to order into my cart. Things like that help streamline your everyday action so you can stay focused on learning, stay focused on your schoolwork. And so through features like Notebook LM, you're able to create a podcast, upload all your documents, create a podcast, be able to listen to a podcast between two people engaging on your content. I do this all the time when I'm driving. I just upload things so that way I can listen to it and be able to kind of learn about it, but it helps support people of different learning styles.
Speaking of using AI to actually learn things, and this is relevant, for those of you learning to code, HubSpot put together a free guide called Learn to Code with ChatGPT. It shows you exactly how to use ChatGPT as your personal programming mentor. Inside, you'll learn how to use AI to explain complex syntax and troubleshoot errors in real time. A 5-step validation rule to ensure the code AI gives you is actually accurate, and how to build a custom learning roadmap for yourself. My favorite section is about matching languages to your goals and interests. Choosing a programming language is like picking a tool from a toolkit. The right choice depends on what you want to build. For example, if you want to become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer, Python would be a great language to start with. Overall, this is a great guide whether you're a complete beginner or actively leveling up. It gives you the actual techniques to use AI effectively. Check out the link in the description to download your free copy and start coding smarter. Thanks to HubSpot for creating this resource and sponsoring this video. Now back to the interview. Okay, so AI helps you learn faster, it automates the busy work, it cleans up your text. But here's the question that I kept coming back to. If AI handles all of that for us, what's the actual work left for us humans?
So we really think about AI as being an enabler, and it's about how we help a user get more done, not taking away, but helping streamline your day to focus on what matters the most. And you hear from people around the world, just help me be able to spend time where I want to spend time. I don't necessarily want to be spending time on tasks that I could actually have automated, where I could go spend it with my family, my loved ones, go for a run, go for a walk. And that's really the goal here, is like, how do we make sure that we are using AI to help someone get more out of their day?
Focus on what matters. That sounds great, but what matters? That's the harder question to answer, especially if you're just starting out building a career in a world where AI can do a lot of the entry-level work. So I asked Mindy straight up, what career advice is outdated in the modern world? And what does she look for when she's hiring at Google?
One of the most exciting things about where we're at right now is with the tools and technology and where AI is at, you can really learn anything. And that is such a powerful thing for someone entering the job market, because you can have a particular background, but you can also quickly learn others. So I think that's one where I think it's just a really transformative time. And I think it's making those tools available to everyone, everywhere. And that's really exciting.
So when you're looking at hiring and talent, what are some things that you look for beyond just technical ability?
One of the top things I look for is strategic problem solving skills. And someone that can not just break down a problem, but think across functions and also really help map that to user need. I think that's such an important skill set, especially with all of the different technology that's happening and all the complexity of the world and the problems we're trying to solve. Someone that can think strategically across that and think about it through the lens of the user is such an important skill.
The most powerful AI on the planet was built by someone who spent her career studying people. And maybe that's not a coincidence. AI can automate the tasks, but it still cannot decide which ones matter the most. That part is still on us.